Y'all good in the bag?
Public school.
All right. All right, board members, do we have a motion to re-enter open session?
Make a motion.
Mr. Taylor, Mr. Grigg, those in favor, if you'd raise your hand. So we're back in open session. In closed session, the board did hear from the superintendent on personnel matters and received advice from the attorney on disposal of property. And we will take action on those properties here coming up next. So going on to 13, well, we'll just let Dr. Fisher go through those properties and then we'll take our action.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. As you know, we've gone through the surplus property process for several pieces of property over the last couple of years. Earlier in September, we received a letter from David Cotton and the county commissioners. As you are aware, the county indicated they did want Graham, but they did not have an interest in obtaining Marion and the two properties in Lawndale. So you've got a copy of that letter at your spots, and I know you've seen that. So that comes with 4 recommended actions tonight. We'll take this on the order that they're on the board. And so, Mr. Chairman, the recommendation for the Graham property is the resolution that the board has seen and have a copy of at your spots. So be glad to try to answer your questions on that resolution.
Okay, do we need to read this into the minutes or? Okay. I'll let you have the, I'll let you have the honor there, Dr. Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that.
You're
Let me
welcome.
find it real quick.
Page 2.
Page 2. The resolution for Graham Elementary, whereas the Cleveland County Board of Education owns the property located at 1100 Blanton Street, Shelby, North Carolina. Whereas the Board of Education has declared the property surplus and no longer necessary for public school purposes. Whereas the board has offered the property to the Board of County Commissioners pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 115C 518A, and the Board of Commissioners voted to obtain the property. Whereas the board finds that the best interest of Cleveland County Schools will be served by the sale of said property as is in accordance with the North Carolina General Statutes. Whereas the board wishes to dispose of the property pursuant to General Statute 160A 274, providing for the sale of the property to the Board of Commissioners. Whereas the sale of the property will be outlined in a signed memorandum of understanding between the Commissioners and the Cleveland County Board of Education. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Cleveland County Board of Education that the superintendent, board chairman, and board attorney are authorized to finalize the completion of the MOU and sale of the Graham property adopted this 14th day of October 2024.
All right, board members, you have that resolution. What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to adopt the resolution as read.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Bridges. Any questions or discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
I just want it clear that I'm not for selling neither one of them or getting rid of neither one of them.
All right.
I want that in the minutes.
So just to be clear with the public, this resolution allows us to finish the negotiations with the county to convey that property to the county per that MOU. Any other questions or discussion? Those in favor, if you'd raise your hand. Any opposed? That carries 8-1. What do you got next, Marion? Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the recommended action for Marion, the county commissioners have declined interest in Marion, so the recommendation from our staff is to send a letter to the city of Shelby officially offering the property to the city. That letter has also been attached in your packet.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any need to read that letter, but so the recommendation from staff is to send the letter to the city offering the property and see if they have interest. What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Fitch, second by Mr. Taylor. Any questions or discussion on that? All right, those in favor, if you'd raise your hand. Any opposed? Carries 8-1. All right.
Mr. Chairman, the third item is for property at Lawndale 1, which we'll call it. That's parcel 36904. There is a resolution, and I will read that into the
Please,
minutes.
sir.
unless you'd like to do this one.
No, I'll let you have it.
Okay, thank you, sir. The resolution for Lawndale property 36904, whereas the Cleveland County Board of Education owns property parcel 36904 located on Douglas Street, Lawndale, North Carolina. The board has declared the property surplus and no longer necessary for public school purposes, whereas the board has offered the property to the Board of County Commissioners pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 115C 518A, and the Board of Commissioners expressed no interest in the property. Whereas the board finds that the best interest of Cleveland County Schools will be served by the sale of said property as is in accordance with the North Carolina General Statutes. Whereas the board wishes to dispose of the property pursuant to General Statute 160A 266B, providing for the private sale of the property to the church located at the adjacent property. Whereas the sale of the property will be outlined in a signed memorandum of understanding between the Cleveland County Board of Education and adjacent property owners. Now therefore be resolved by the Cleveland County Board of Education that the superintendent, board chairman, and board attorney are authorized to finalize the sale of the identified property, adopted this 14th day of October 2024.
Motion to approve is read. Second the motion.
Motion by Mr. Shore, second by Mr. Bridges. Any questions or discussion on that? All right, those in favor, if you'd raise your hand. That carries 9-0. One more.
Mr. Chairman, Lawndale Property 2, which is parcel 36930, there is a memo outlining the plans for that property. The district staff recommends putting this property out for sale, which would include a initial offer bid that would be due by Thursday, October 31st at 4 o'clock p.m., not a.m., 4 o'clock p.m. And then after that, we will go through the upset bid process. And once we have a 10-day period with no upset bid, we will bring that high bid to the board for approval and sale. Outlines of the specifications for the general statute and that upset bid process are in the memo, and then will be posted on Cleveland County Schools website.
Motion to move. Second.
So moved?
Yes.
Is that what you meant to say?
Second.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think I got this. So again, a motion by Mr. Shore, second by Mr. Bridges, to approve sale, upset bid process on property 2. Any further questions or discussion? Okay. All right, all in favor, if you'd raise your hand. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
What about the other? On the money?
That was just the information.
Well, I didn't vote for it.
You don't have to. I think you got a